A factual pattern like this, where the clerk of court sets out to influence the verdict.
What we are talking about is what Justice Toll described as a few fleeting comments. And in the face of that, we have to consider a 6-week trial.
Quite a day in the capital city as the state Supreme Court hearing the legal appeal of convicted double murderer Alex Murdaugh. Actually hearing 2 appeals here, as you know. Was there jury tampering, and were the financial crimes, should they have been allowed into evidence in his original trial? So a lot of stuff for the Supreme Court to consider tonight.
Absolutely, and we're continuing right now in Friends at 5, our team coverage here on air and also over on WLTX Plus. And we know the Alex Murdaugh legal saga is one of the most followed court cases here in America. And
that led a lot of people to try and get inside the courtroom for today's hearing. Our Christy Calcagno joining us now. She was one of those up early to be there.
On a windy and cloudy Wednesday morning, dozens of people arrived very early to the steps of the South Carolina Supreme Court to hear the hearing of Alex Murdaugh. We're talking about prominent attorneys from across the Palmetto State, as well as a lot of pre-law students from colleges and universities here in South Carolina, and a bunch of fans who said that they wanted to be a part of history. Here's what they had to say about why they decided to show up so early.
A lot of ministers, they couldn't leave the church to go. And so I said, Lord, send me, I'll go.
Raymond Johnson is a preacher from Marion, South Carolina, who says he's never missed a day of the Murdaugh coverage.
I started from the beginning. You know, I felt so bad. I was laying down when that first happened, and the Spirit came in the room while I was laying down, and God touched my heart and told me to go.
He wasn't the only one who wanted to witness this hearing firsthand.
I think it's really important for even undergraduate students, especially at Clemson, to sit in on something so important.
That's why Clemson pre-law students Olivia and Morgan traveled from the upstate to be here.
My expectations going in as someone who wants to be a law student is just to learn more and just also be kind of like see it firsthand, such an infamous case just for the state of South Carolina.
As the crowd of dozens filed into the courtroom outside the state Supreme Court turned from this to this.
Thank you. Be seated.
One notable attorney in attendance was Joe McCullough, who represents who the public knows as the egg juror that was mentioned during Wednesday's hearing.
If the egg juror's testimony was just as theoretically impeaching as Juror 70 or the alternate juror's testimony 741, why wasn't the egg juror allowed to testify?
We spoke to McCullough following the hearing to get his reactions and what's next for him and his client.
I think she's about to be inundated with interview requests, but I think now she feels somewhat vindicated based on the questions at least. And ultimately, if there is a new trial grant, she may find herself being a witness.
McCullough also says this is far from over. We still do not have a decision from the South Carolina Supreme Court justices. McCullough also says this can possibly take weeks or even months. Reporting from the South Carolina Supreme Court, I'm Christy Calcagno for News 19 WLTX.
All right, so that was a little bit of the crowd reaction outside the courtroom about what was going on inside.
Yes, so